Hello everyone and welcome to Let's Play SimCity. Thank you for the funny introduction there. The reason I put that up there is because I'm about to hit a milestone in SimCity that I've only rarely ever hit before. I actually only hit this last night, and I tried to get this set up so that you can actually see what's going on. But first, before we get there, I want to take a look at the city a little bit. I did make a few changes to the city layout a little bit so I can accommodate a higher population here. You can see it's at 599,000 people. Well, I accommodated a little bit more with industrial zones. I also changed this entire section down here so that it could fit in a few more zones. I found this was actually a little bit better in terms of fitting zones in because there was less rail used this way. And also set up something here. It looks kind of funny, but I'm still messing around with it. But the population is going to be where I want it to be. I also moved the seaport and airport over here. And, yeah, these zones haven't developed yet for whatever reason. I don't know. But I also moved some nuclear power plants around. And I also did some zone stacking over here for some nuclear power plants. And I felt zone stacking was permitted because it was mentioned in the manual. And I don't want to cheat. If it's mentioned in the manual, I don't think it's really cheating that much. Now, there's one thing I'm going to show in this video that could be considered cheating, but I don't know how that's going to turn out. You know what? I'm going to beautify this up a little bit. I got the money. Alright, I'm distracting myself too much. Just to let you know also here, look at the tax screen. I've got all the taxes down to 0. And you look at the date here, it's now 2003 on this date. It took me a long time to get this to this point. Take a look at the voice. Now this might be interesting. Most people think I am not doing a good job. Pollution is the biggest problem, crime is another big problem, but you know what? The game really doesn't care about that. And I'll show you why, because we're about to hit an important milestone that you'll probably rarely ever see out of any Let's Plays, so... you know what? I don't like all this. I'm delaying this because I just think it's funny. Okay, well anyways, I think it's time to speed this up and show you exactly why it took so much effort to get to this point, because it's a very difficult milestone. And I see a hospital there. Might as well get rid of him. There we go. Let me make sure we got the speed up here. We're almost there. See, the thing is I don't want to fast forward through this because I'm very close to it. But you know what? Let's do it. Okay, here we go. We hit 600,000 people. And I wanted to show that because you'll rarely ever see that, especially in map 61. It's very difficult to get 600,000 sims out of here. So yeah, congratulations to me, kudos me, we did it. But we could probably get this a little further. And yeah, I'm going to show the map a little bit because in speed runs of this where they get to 600,000, you don't really see the map very much. So I'd like to show that a little bit. And apparently, by the way, also want to mention this too, you can actually squeeze in probably a few more zones if you run the rails like this instead of vertically. Because vertically you'll have more rails this way instead of horizontally, but we managed to squeeze out 600,000, just enough to get to that message, and that's what I wanted to see. So let me show the map a little bit so you can see how this is shaping up. We got a lot of pollution here. You're just going to have to deal with it. The crime... People are still moving into the city, so what are you gonna do? Yeah, we don't have any traffic to speak of. Population density, let's take a look at this. Growth is good. It's leveling out, though. Population density, we can get a little higher, though. Thought I saw a C-top in there. Police coverage. It's pretty abysmal, but you know what? I don't care at this point. Alright, what I wanted to do is I'm going to show this, and this was actually discovered, thinking, a few years ago. And a lot of people did not know about this, so if I can get it to work, that'd be great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save here. And what we're going to do is, if you end the game, by the way, yeah, I'm going to save. Already saved. You get this nice little message that says, "See you soon, goodbye." And you have the nice little background music. It's kind of a nice little thing for Maxis to do. But what I'm going to do is, if I can get this to work, I'm going to put the controller down for a second, because I've got this keyed in so I don't have to screw it up. So let's see if I can get this right. Okay, there we go. Got the debug menu on. This was discovered, I forget by whom, but it was discovered by basically someone going through the ROM itself and actually finding this, and kudos to whoever found it. But there's interesting things that you can do with the debug mode. You've got a sound test here. You can just hit a couple keys here. Just switch it, and then you got different sounds here, which is kind of nice. So I can keep that going. No disasters, you can take no disasters and take them on. Needless money means you get free money. Nothing costs money. Valve Max means that your RCI indicators will always be at maximum. Water reclaim, I'll show that off a little bit. That means you can actually bulldoze water and get land back. So at this point I hit 600,000 legitimately. Now I'm going to try to push it a little further, but I'm not going to reclaim all the water. I don't have the patience for that. The memory, what you have to do, let me try this one more time. I've got to actually set it, so excuse me for a minute. So we reset the game, and we were going to resume a save city. Now we have this new option. Now we have a save city up. So hopefully the RCI meters and all this stuff will work. So what I'm going to do is pause it. Well, no, I don't need to pause it to test that the thing is working correctly. Water reclamation works like this. You can just reclaim some water there. I'd really like to reclaim this area up in here. There we go. That's one thing you can do if you want to do that. You know what, I'm going to smooth this out a little bit. I'm just basically trying to get the population as high as I can. And this is one thing that sucks when you start a new city. Your power will kind of just blink off because the game has to kind of reset everything. So, you know, that's kind of annoying, but whatever. Let's see here. I'm not going to do anything else with that. I just want to kind of push it a little beyond 600,000. I just want to see what will happen. Because we're not going to start a new scenario until the next video. And I'll try to touch on the scenarios before we end the video anyway. Let's see what we got over here. Oh, and the free money, I didn't show that. So, free money, I don't know if you saw that or not, but there we go. Things aren't costing me any money, so there you go. Let me zoom ahead on this, and let's see if the population goes any higher on this map. It's about as high as it's going to go without really obscene zone stacking and things like that, so let's see what happens with the population now that we got RCI indicators at max. So okay, we're at 601,000 right now. I'm going to bulldoze this thing right here. And now we've got the RCI indicators at max. See, some of these zones are not going to get to the maximum they could possibly get, but I'm going to push it as far as I can. You know, as far as I can legitimately. I'm going to squeeze in a couple more zones here. I'm only going to be doing this debug menu for a little bit. And the scenarios, we're not going to deal with the debug menu. We're going to do that legitimately. So, I just want to squeeze in more zones and what? More zones. Let me get my English correct. It's early. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Ooh, you know what? Let's put that there. I'm going to squeeze out the population a little higher. And, yeah. Tells us we're a great mayor, even though most people in the city don't like us. But whatever. Make sure I got this on here. Let's get the population a little higher. Alright, I'm also going to try out one thing real quick. I'm kind of curious about... Damn it, another hospital. Hold on. I'm also curious about something now that I'm thinking about it, because water will actually improve your land values. So I'm going to do something a little silly, and hopefully I don't bulldoze the Mario statue here. Because I didn't mention the donut blocks very much, and I'd like to at least discuss that. I'm going to make a little commercial island here. Make sure this will look a little silly, but I think it'll be funny, so I'm going to try this out. I didn't mention the donut block. That's one way you can kind of get all your zones to max, or C-tops or R-tops. But the reason I didn't really mention it that much is because it's not a very efficient way to cram a lot of people into a city, because you actually, you know, you waste a zone here and you waste a little zone here and here on the corners with the rails, so, you know, it could be a little better. So let's do this. I'm going to see if these commercial zones, well, yeah, I already got it. Their habits are hard to break. So we're going to have a little commercial island, maybe residential island. We'll see what happens. Yeah, it looks like... I never really messed with the Mario statue. It looks like this is looking like it's wanting more residential zones here. I'm going to see what happens with residential zones. I'm going to make a mix of a block so you can see what would happen with residential zones, so... Yeah, we're good. There's also something else you can do here. I'll try to see what you can see about this. You can actually increase the land value quite a bit by... I'll try to make this a little interesting. You can actually increase the land values quite a bit by exploring the idea of just putting a lot of parkland around here. I'm going to make it a little symmetrical. Oh, and I turned off disasters, but apparently there's a disaster anywhere. Of course it hit this, so... we can get rid of it. There we go. It had to take care of one of my C-tops, or not a C-top, but something with a lot of value to it. I find it goes towards your skyscrapers. A plane, you know, will actually go towards your skyscrapers and whatnot, but it's not going to look pretty, this parkland, but I don't really care at this point. I'm going to try and increase the land values here just a little bit further, and yeah. Another thing I want to mention is the water reclamation is one way. If you've converted land over to land from water, you're not going to be able to reverse it, so you're going to have to deal with it. Yeah. So let's see what happens to these zones, and I think we'll be about done with this video soon. Okay, we've got our city to about 610,000. What I need to do is actually clear out the debug menu, and I'll show you how to do that. I think we're done with this city for now, so I'll save it, and if anybody wants to see anything in this particular city, let me know, and maybe I can make a bonus video or something. Or if you have questions about this city, just ask me. And as long as I have this file available, I'll at least try to answer questions in the meantime. Or maybe I'll answer them out of my memory or whatnot. But yeah, I think this is good enough. So say goodbye to this city. I think it's about time to move on. So what I need to do is go back to the debug menu. So I'm going to save. Well, actually, I'm just going to end, because it'll ask you if you want to save. I'm going to save it in slot 2. That way I don't screw up my old city. What we need to do, the debug test is still on, as we set clear, and there we go. So we can reset the game, and we should be okay. Alright, there we go. Now, I think it's about time to start scenarios. I'm going to introduce the scenarios a little bit before we begin. We've got 6 scenarios available here, and I'm not sure which order I'll take them in. I think I'm just going to do them in regular order. If you guys want me to do them out of order, I can, but, you know, they kind of go into terms of difficulty, as in easy to more difficult. So I think what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and end the video, and on the next video we're going to start the scenarios. So thank you so much for watching, and have a good day. Bye.